And I have an old friend with me, LeAnn Nequette. And I didn't even tell you this. The reason why I got you to do this, LeAnn, is because I was looking for some breathing techniques to teach my girls one night. And I just could not find anything that I liked. And so then I was walking this week and thinking, well, can't I just create something? And then I was like, I need to call LeAnn. So that's why I invited you to join me on Facebook Live. Let me tell you a little bit about LeAnn. She is an amazing person. Let's just say that. I've known her since, we were just saying, 1998.
Long time.
LeAnn is a native of Birmingham. She holds a master's in counseling. She's a licensed massage therapist, but her true passion for the last 17 years has been yoga. She's taught yoga in the Birmingham community for the last 17 years at the YMCA and the Jewish Community Center. She's also taught at Lifetime Fitness, Tri-Fusion, and Birmingham Dance Theater. Her past mental health work experience includes working at the Crisis Center, which is a place that we met, as the adult line telephone counseling coordinator and the Center for Eating Disorders. Currently, like we're all doing right now during COVID, she's learning how to redirect her efforts through online by uploading 2 yoga videos a week to her YouTube channel called LeAnn Nequette. She's thinking about changing that, so stay tuned. But you can find her on YouTube. Here's what I love about LeAnn. She is a learner. She is always learning and improving what she's learning. She loves to learn. Would you say that, LeAnn?
I agree. I feel like it's so important to challenge yourself and stay, especially during a time like right now where you stay very fluid. So you're willing to learn new techniques, new skills in order to maintain your sanity. I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we are going to get started because we know we're both on a little bit of a time frame. So, LeAnn, I want to hear your 3 top breathing techniques when you get anxious. What do you do?
So, what I normally teach in my class from step 1, when you come onto your mat, but you use this in your life, is just to take an inhale through the nose, audible exhale out of the mouth. So, a deep inhale, exhale with a sigh. It starts kind of bringing your attention inward. It allows you to notice where you're holding your breath. It allows you to notice where the breath is moving. Plus, that audible is an ability for you to really monitor the quality of your breath. Is it smooth today? Is it choppy? Is it shallow? Is it deep? So that would be my first, and everyone can do that. You can do it in your home. Obviously, you can do it when you're out walking, especially when you feel tension building up in the neck shoulder space, which most of us feel during stressful times. Some of that has to do with your secondary breathing muscles. They get very tight at the front of the neck. So it allows you to decompress that space.
I didn't know that I had secondary breathing muscles.
You do. You do. I know.
So the primary ones are what? Your nose and your mouth?
So you've got your primary muscles. Your primary muscles, obviously, the diaphragm. So that is what brings the air in and out, pushes it in and out. So the diaphragm, very important musculature right at the hood of the rib cage. So it's really important that we loosen up that space. And that's another nice way of just getting into tension. You can actually go up under your rib cage and just gently go side to side right there where the diaphragm, the hood of the diaphragm connects in. And then the scalenes are the secondary muscles in the interior neck. They tend to get tight. So that just audible breath, that deeper exhale, really allows you to decompress all of those muscles.
Awesome. Okay, yeah. Can you teach us? So that's the first one, is just
that's
a simple
number
breathe
one,
in,
simple.
Breathe out, and listen to your breath, and especially your exhale.
Exactly, especially the exhale and bringing that audible sound. Then the next one, I'm going to back up a little so you can see me. So, what I recommend is being in a comfortable position. You can do this standing like I am, but you might want to be in a little more of a reclined position, maybe propped up in your bed at first with your knees bent. That's also going to decompress the low back when the knees are bent. But you can bring the hands to the low belly space and notice how I'm threading my fingers in. This allows you to know, am I directing the breath there into the deep belly space?
Mm.
So we start by bringing our attention to our low belly by bringing the hands there, and then you begin to direct your breath. So at first you direct the breath down. This is three-part breathing though. So first we can take an inhale into the belly. Pause, bring your hands to your rib cage, breathe into the rib cage. Pause, bring the hands up to the sternum, breathe up into the sternum. Pause, and then let it all exhale out, a very slow, steady exhale out. Then you begin at the base again, breathing into the low belly, breathing into the rib cage, breathing all the way up into the collarbone, trying to have a very smooth, fluid exhale out and down. So it takes a little time at first, Sarah. So what I would recommend people do is start with the belly breath first. Just see if you can access that space. A lot of times when we're under stress, we hyperventilate. So it's upper chest breathing. It's in this space. What we really want to encourage is taking it lower, deeper.
Mm.
We know that you've got your second brain here, your viscera. So you've got all your intestines, your GI tract here. And this area really is sensitive to stress. So it's important that we allow there to be an expansion around that space so we can decompress it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can continue to move the breath up.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, before you do your one and last.
Yes.
I want to, so as a mental health professional, what I love about breathing is I often will tell my clients to breathe. One of my favorite stories is my 5-year-old, though, she was in timeout and I said, breathe. And she's now 18. So I said, sweetie, you need to breathe. It's not working. And I think it's so remarkable though, like what the research says around breath and how it really can help our anxiety. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, part of the yogic tradition, it really is a breathing practice. It's not all the poses, which I love like anyone else who practices yoga, the physical practice of yoga. But the breath, as we know, is essential to life. So if we can start to slow it down, there are many times that we'll have practitioners put one hand on the heart, the other hand on the low belly. You can actually go through a process where you can slow down the heart rate if you bring some tactile awareness with your hand, as well as an expansion of the low belly, and you can bring the heart rate down so that you get more into a parasympathetic response, which is so important, the relaxation response, versus being in a sympathetic nervous system response, which is our fight or flight. And right now, probably many of us can relate to that idea of we want to either fight or can I just hide?
Right.
So it is so important that if you can start to sync your breath up, give your awareness to your heart rate too, because there are times when we're having an anxiety attack, for example, where the heart rate elevates. If you can actually bring and a little bit of pressure too, just a slight bit of pressure with the hand, just so that you can bring your awareness there. The mind space, the heart space, the breath can all really sync up in a way that allows people to really calm down. But it takes practice like anything. Yoga is considered a practice. We always talk about a mental health practice, a medical practice, because it takes time to develop these habits, but you just start slowly. Notice if you're holding your breath when you start these techniques. Notice if you're like, oh, she said pause, and you're bracing. You've got to just pause, a relaxed pause, and then continue from there.
Okay, awesome. So what would be your last technique that you teach us?
So the last one, and Sarah knows me. So those of us that can tend to be a little reactive sometimes, we don't mean to be, but it might be your first nature to be like, right? Like I'm going to fight this.
Mm-hmm.
We really want to be more responsive. This particular
Mm-hmm.
breathing practice is a cooling breath. So when you feel anxiety build up, anger, any of kind of those negative emotions, which are very important, obviously, to our functioning, but we know we've got to bring it down. It's called Satali. Those of us who can genetically curl your tongue. Sarah, can you curl your tongue by chance?
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
I
see,
can do
Sarah's
it.
a great example. Good job, Sarah.
I can do
I
it. I can
cannot.
do it.
I cannot do. Watch this. It doesn't happen.
Can't do it.
So, if you can curl your tongue like Sarah, this is great. Don't worry. For those of us who can't, like myself, it's probably us reactive people. You need to actually just bring your teeth together. Don't clench, because those of us who are reactive tend to clench as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just bring your teeth together. You'll inhale through the nose. You'll exhale out of the nose to begin, and then curl your tongue, Sarah. Inhale
Should I
through.
show that? I
You
shouldn't show
can
it. I
show
should.
it. Go ahead. You can do it. Curl your tongue. Inhale through that. Exhale out of your nose. Good. Inhale through the curled tongue. I'm demonstrating with the teeth. Exhale out of the nose. Inhale.
I'm getting weirded out by the curled tongue.
Exhale. Sarah's a great example, though. So, what we'll do, let's talk about this for a moment, Sarah. Notice, because sometimes I think seeing yourself with a curled tongue is
Yeah.
odd. Notice though, did you notice a certain quality about that inhalation? When you brought the breath in, did it feel cooler than it normally does?
Yeah, it does.
Exactly. It's a
Ah,
very interesting physiological response. The curled tongue actually provides like this chute, and it's a cooling breath, and
wow.
it can really bring people's
So
anxiety
you're
levels
saying when
down.
you're angry and anxious, if you can curl your tongue and or clench your teeth and breathe, that can help.
It can so help. And again, it's the same idea. You might want to bring the hands to the low belly. You might want to curl the tongue, take the inhale, then close the mouth, do the exhale out the nose, and then begin again. Try to expand the belly. Inhale through the curled tongue, exhale out of the nose. And it is an amazing effect that it can have. Sarah, I have a feeling there could be a meme of this at the end.
I know. What mental health professionals is curling their tongue? I don't know.
I'm
Apparently.
telling you, they're going to try it with you though, because it makes a significant difference. This practice has been proven to work to help bring anxiety levels down. If you're feeling tension building up in the body, anger building up,
Mm,
it's a great way of bringing that down so that you can respond versus react. That's
right.
really what we're looking for,
Yeah.
is that responsive quality, not a reaction.
And it's funny when I do couples counseling, sometimes I have pulse oximeters, and I'll put it on.
Yep.
And if they go above 100 beats per minute, they have flooded. And when you're flooded in the frontal part of your brain, you can't think rationally. So you can't talk to your partner and problem solve when you're in the midst of problem solving, because your blood pressure is so up. You can't
Elevated.
think. So that would
Yes.
be a great technique to go, hey, curl your tongue, breathe.
And it may create an opportunity for a giggle.
Yeah,
And
that's
with
true.
laughter,
That's true.
decompression.
Hey, we got a question. LeAnn, we got a question.
Oh, this is exciting.
Okay, Adam wants to know, how long should you do this?
This is a good question. I would say you want to build up at least 5 minutes, but I would go, you can extend that. And I'm not personally going to try to prescribe how long. I would say start with a 5 minute mark. If you find that it's working for you, you like it, you can continue a little further. I wouldn't go past 10, 15 minutes tops. When we look at meditation, there are people that are really skilled at meditation and use some of these techniques to get them into that relaxed state, and can meditate for up to 90 minutes or longer.
Wow.
So it's really up to the
That's
person.
amazing.
It is amazing. And I'm not that person, so I can't tell you I've done it.
Yeah, I don't think I am either. 90 minutes to turn off your brain.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. tuning the dial. Just remember, this is like fine tuning the dial, the breath. So if you think in that kind of paradigm, that's probably going to help you determine for you individually, how long do I want to do this?
Right. Okay, that's great. All right, we are unfortunately out of time. So, but we should definitely try to do this again. But they can find you, LeAnn, on LeAnn Nequette, which is scrolling. Her name is spelled at the bottom on YouTube. And you are looking to maybe do an Instagram channel or Facebook Live or something like that as well.
I am, even though I can't even believe it, because this has challenged us in so many ways. And I am not a camera kind of person, but I love sharing my love of the practice. So I hope maybe some of your listeners, some of your viewers will tune in. And thank you, Sarah, for having me.
Yes. Well, I mean, I've known you, gosh, as I don't know, 17, 18 years now. And I've known you are an avid yogi enthusiast.
I do love it.
Yoga.
Yogini.
Yogini. Okay. So thank you so much, LeAnn. I appreciate it.
You are welcome, friend.
Namaste.
Namaste.